weekly wrap and a look ahead into next week. I'm going to start off with US dollar yen. When I last talked to you, I talked about that I had shorts early this week, took partials, trailed my stop above this high, and then I put the shorts out again here. I've taken partials. The way it looks to me, yields are coming off a bit. Here you go, off a little bit here. Pretty, stable. It's my view that the yen is going to sell off. I need action back under 154 to trigger it. You can see 155 is containing it. So I'm going to trail my stops for over the weekend above this high going into Monday, and I'll see if I could trail them should we get this breakdown and then another major retest of 152. I do want to cover the dollar. I think that we had a little short-term peak. It doesn't mean it's the end of it, but I had this line drawn in the euro. Right here, it looks like it was just drawn out of nowhere. But look at that. So when I was bearish and looking for a decline in the euro, I showed this weekly return line that's been there, and look how it's respecting it so far. Now, on a weekly basis, still an ugly week, but we could still get a rally and then have another low later on. So, we have these tensions that are hanging over as we head towards the final, what people are considering to be the last couple months of the conflict in Ukraine. But things are building. The crescendo keeps getting louder. ICBMs have been used. Who knows what's next? So the way I see the euro is that we could get a bounce. I believe it's bounces are going to be contained, maybe up here at, maybe we could get back to 105, maybe even 106. But let's watch this line because it's going to be important. I'm not going to launch new longs or dollar shorts on this, but as you can tell, we did diverge on this spike in the Dixie. So we could from here end up having a pullback towards 106. That never happened, and then have another rally attempt. Um, Canada, not responding as well to a stronger dollar. We'll see. Um, this was confirmed, but I'd be looking to buy breaks if we don't rally first. I want to talk about the gold because some of my followers on X have been asking about it. And, when I said that we were going to have a rally down here, so it shouldn't have surprised people, even though I'm looking for 2,400, this to me looks like almost more than a retrace, but I would not be long the gold here. I think that we could pull back to 2620, maybe go again. But I still am, even though we've had a great week and, a pretty powerful reaction, still considering this to be a failing rally. And this failing rally, I still think is going to take us down towards 2,400. So it's the hardest thing to do would be to short gold over a weekend on the verge of what a lot of people are saying World War III has begun. But I still think that there's a chance that we can break one more time, and towards the end of the year, your buy zone will manifest down here. So in gold recently, called the top here. Then I said we were going to be we're due for a reaction here. I said the same thing about silver. Silver's been a lot weaker, but I still think it could work its way up to 32 and a half or so in the next several days, maybe even 33 for a right shoulder. Okay. So I still am looking for lower levels in silver. Silver's actually so much weaker. And I featured how we did break out of this formation in the gold silver ratio that projects to 92. So that means if you're bullish metals, you're long gold. When you're bearish metals, you're short silver. That's what this is saying to me right now. So I believe that's all I really wanted to cover in the currencies. Aussie's acting a lot better. Another line that it came off of. So if I wanted to fade the dollar, I would do it with the commodity currencies. And I'm not sure this is the bottom in Aussie. I still think we could have one more flush or maybe back down. You know, let's take care of the stops here, which are 63.57, and then you'll have no one long except under this spike that we had in August. So we could be testing those levels out, but I'm looking for a bounce first. We could have this bounce first. Okay, so I want to talk about my something that I think is real important, and it's about trusting your charts. So you guys know that my two shorting candidates were Apple, and Apple went right to the flag line and held. That was yesterday. I still see this as corrective action. And then you could say, well, I got lucky with the news on Google yesterday because of the DOJ saying that they're going to have to sell Chrome. But, people were asking me, in fact, I was on Real Vision, and they asked me when I sold it. And my strategy was, and I talked about this with you guys, was to short stocks that were not making new highs with the market. And last week, that's exactly what Google did. So I sold the rally this week. So I trusted this signal, this technical signal, and got short um, on Tuesday. And the market went up a few more points after that. But it was the charts that led it to me with no knowledge of a fundamental event that was going to happen. So learn to trust the charts. Um, they had me thinking about the short side before yesterday's huge decline. Okay. So, I am impressed with how much the S&Ps came back this week, that they too are acting a lot like a beach ball. There's your look there. But, it still could be a failing rally, right? Still could have the characteristics of a failing rally. It's an inside week. So the most bearishing we could do is, here's your weekly, is start off higher. Here's your inside week. So, well, actually, it's a reversal week. But see how it held the 9-day? So if we take out the 9-day, that opens up the door for, I think, lower levels, um, maybe 5,400. It is a 2-week off numbers sale unless we close by the end of business at 60.03. That's another 50. But, the action in NASDAQ, not quite as strong. And when you look at the 4-hour chart, you know, to me, maybe this is a shoulder. It's not acting great. Again, I think this one was an inside week. Let's take a look. Or did it take out the low? Barely took out the low. Same setup with same setup that we have here with the 9-week holding. I want to go over energy. I've been pounding the table on that gas. It's finally starting to pull back, but still a pretty nice week. And then WTI, I'd still be patient and wait for this pullback into the low 60 range. I know it had a good week, but I still think that there's a possibility that this is not the low and that we could still have one more break to take out 67. So if you basically go from 67 to 73, that's $6. So if we break this horizontal support at 66, should take us down there. not a bad looking candle that we're having right here. The GDX as well rallied off the old breakout point that I showed on the weekly. So this is why the metals recovery did not surprise me, because this was your weekly breakout in GDX. Wasn't a great close, but it came in, and I said it has potential to rally back to 38 to 40. So we'll see. Maybe we get there next week, but I'm not sure this is still the bottom. If we're going to get 2,400 gold, it may end up negating the breakout. Nat gas is a pullback to buy as far as I'm concerned. Here's your weekly. We're off today, but look at this chart. It was a moonshot. So for it to pull back would be a break to buy in my book. And let's see. Bitcoin, may as well address it. It's diverging. Okay. So we almost got to 100. I know that I measured moves off the breakout much higher, like 116 to 26. But, if we do begin to get some type of sell-off in equities, I do believe Bitcoin will be affected. So I'm not recommending shorting Bitcoin. I want to short the weakness, things like Google. But there's nothing wrong with ringing the register on Bitcoin. I know a lot of people aren't, because they're looking for $1 million or 500,000, but we're about 10 to 20 grand away. Maybe 10%, another 10% could be left in the market, but it's not a profit till you take it. So that's my wrap. Still looking for a Japanese yen breakdown. I think it's going to get some safe haven buying. It's not happening here today. It's kind of a neutral week. But again, we need for it to do something negative here under 154. That'll take us down to, 52. And 52 is the major level. So if we take out 52, then you're talking 49 to 47. I'm going to sit with it, even though it's coming back and closing okay. I'll sell more next week. So that's a wrap. I hope that I've helped you with some things. Maybe you call some Google. The Dixie, I was talking 109 from a long time ago, from all the way back here. And we almost got there, Warriors. We got up to 108.07. So maybe one pullback and then another launch to new highs. And I hope I've helped some of my followers that were, they feel like they've missed gold. You shouldn't have missed it because it was at least good for a trade. And that was pointed out all week. Go back on my Twitter feed, go back on my YouTube streams, and you'll see that I was calling for a rally in the metals coming into this week. So good hunting. Enjoy the weekend. Pray for peace, and don't just count your pips, count your blessings. I'll see you all